Hey guys! So, welcome to Wine About It Wednesday. Got my wine. We want to give a little shout out to Rosenberg Events. Thank you for the nice glasses. I think Gideon maybe won that glass. Anyway, I am so glad you guys are here. And we've got, a couple of announcements, but I just want to first talk about the topic for tonight, which is going to be how the heck do you get everything you need from these clinic lessons? As most of you know, Allie Brock, one of my best friends, and my trainer, my coach, she was here. And so we had these great lessons I've shared with some of the with the TV, some of the lessons with some of the horses. As you can see, we really got some great things out of the horses, learned a lot as always. And, now it's like, okay, it's been like a week since she's been here. So, what the heck do I work on when I'm by myself? So that's what we're going to, talk about tonight. But first I have some exciting news about the Academy. So we've been really excited. We've got a little bit over 350 people as students. So some people bought the mini course, which also includes the first lecture, which was really, really fun to do. And that was just great. We talked a lot about, how to develop a horse with strength and skill and the daily vocabulary, what you should be working on every day. How to change their musculature, how to develop their skeleton. So it was, really so much of Charles, what I've learned from Charles and many of my other great teachers. But it was really fun I had my dry erase board, and it was really fun to share with everybody that lecture. So I hope everybody can check it out at Team Tate Academy. But our big exciting news is that Team Tate Academy just got USDF official university accreditation. So that is really exciting, so that every member who became a member in 2020 can use their time and their experience that they're learning on the Academy to gain university credits. So we want to thank USDF. That's really exciting to get real, kind of a partnership with them. So we're really thrilled about that. And we got hats, so that's exciting. So everyone who signed up as a trainer gets a hat, as well as Megan Compton's students. They were our 2000th member on Team Tate TV. So those hats are going to go out to Elizabeth and Laura Martin. So we're really excited about that. And we got more hats coming, so hopefully y'all can get your own hat too. And Megan said 6 pages worth of notes on my second watch through from the lecture. That's great. So speaking about that, I wanted to talk a little bit about and have a toast. Cheers. We spend all this time and money on riding with great people, getting great lessons. And how do we bring that to our daily riding? And one of the big things we do here, we do this all the time, and obviously with the Academy, videotaping is a really big thing. But, all my girls, before we could have these nice phones, we did everything with video cameras. I have years and years, and it would probably be pretty funny to go through some of my old videos of me riding with some really great people. Colonel von Ziegner, I think when I was 12. Charles, since I was 11. We got some stuff archived, so I'm definitely going to have to look into that. But when you talk about how to get everything from these lessons, from these great people who are traveling in for a short amount of time, you don't have access to them all the time. You've got this great clinic. Usually it's over a weekend, so then you give the horse Monday off, and then on Tuesday you're like, what happened? How can I recreate that? And when I was living in Wisconsin, and we lived at Wingate Dressage, good times there. Charles would come, and what he would do was like a magical weekend, and you got new feels and new experiences, and you thought, well, how do I recreate that on Tuesday? So one of the biggest processes we always do here is, again, we videotape. And I mean, take your friend, take a groom, take your husband. Now one of my students, Catherine, actually got the new Pixum. So you don't even need a friend or a husband. You can just tell the computer to do it. So that's pretty cool. And then you need to rewatch the videos. So we have Apple TV, so we can like play it right on the big screen. And I know Kaki does too. So she has 2 horses here, so she watches the videos through. I think taking notes also. I'm a big note taker, and I had to do this because this is just who I am. I'm a big geek, horse dork actually. So like here's a notebook. Here's my current notebook. Here is like last year's notebook. So there are like a ton of notes getting taken. But you can also get this handy dandy journal from the Equestrian Journal. And Catherine is amazing, and she's actually written down questions, so you don't have to think of things to write down yourself. You can actually just like let the journal guide you. But my dad used to always say, write down your goals, write down what you want to happen, write it down. So I've taken that completely into all of my riding. I write business goals, I write personal goals, I write riding goals. For me, like writing it down is not only I'm processing it in a different way, I'm also visual, so I see it when I write it, and it just kind of goes into my subconscious a lot better than just watching the videotape. But again, watch the tapes, take notes. Kate Schneider actually also had a really good post maybe like 2 weeks ago about what she does for her students about taking notes on how to be really present. You know, that's the thing. Nowadays in life, we just aren't present in exactly what we're doing. We're having a conversation with that person. We are managing that. We're doing this. We're looking at that. We go check our email. Well, you know, it's like everything is just constantly coming at us so fast. And actually, like through this Corona time, it's been like, let's all slow down, calm down, refocus, and really get to the good stuff. So I think this like really being able to write down like the big pieces of your lessons are huge, because then it, you know, of course, every student, like our goal as a student and as a teacher, what we want your goal to be also is to mute the teacher. Charles used to always say, like, one of the big things the student should strive for is to mute the teacher. So part of re-listening to those videotapes and writing down the notes, it puts it a bit more in your brain to hear what the teacher's saying, make it your own, so that you can become your own like self-policing trainer. So another thing we love to do here too is discussions. Like I remember growing up at Gales, we used to call it the round table, and I probably learned, more at that table sitting around talking about the lessons than even writing in the lessons. You know, your perspective, what you were feeling, how something surprised you. You know, find a friend and discuss it. You know, I think these, you know, what we want to do here at Team Tate TV, as well as in the academy, the Team Tate Academy, is create a like-minded group of equestrians. So I think that idea to be able to talk about things, you know, when Scott and Suzanne and River Edge with the Malones had the Young Dressage Horse Trainer Symposium, that was an amazing way for all of us to connect. And we all talked about the training and the lessons and got these other discussion groups going, and that is a huge benefit. So I also think it's interesting to note that when you ride in a clinic, that it is like you know, it's so much about like, yes, at that moment, the teacher is pushing you and you need to make something happen. And sometimes that's the lesson, to like do something. But then it's also like there's so much glue that has to happen between these big things. And so you have to really like prioritize the most important ideas and then build a little bit of training plan like around those ideas. And I wrote down on my notes, and I was thinking about this because I was riding around today thinking about it, so I wanted to make sure I remembered to say it, because it's really easy to remember the big, exciting, like, wow parts, like, wow, like Apollo, like, oh my God, like, look at him trot, like, wow, you know? But then it was like, but what, you don't want to just videotape those moments that, I mean, that's great because that's what keeps us coming back for more. But it's how did I get there? Like, what you want to really concentrate on is the process, not just the end result. And so that's why watching the video, go back, you're going to miss things that you didn't hear, you know, and especially at the moment when you're doing it, you're overwhelmed by listening to the teacher, doing the right thing, feeling what the horse is reacting, talking to your body to be in the right position. There's so many things that goes on. So she could have said like the most important sentence of all time, and you were busy. So that's why go back and watch the videos, write the stuff down, and really concentrate, you know, on those moments before the wow, because that's just a result of the great work. But like, what was the great work? Another thing I think is interesting, like we as students, because a clinic is kind of like new and exciting, and like we're on a little bit different adrenaline place. You know, how many times have you heard your home teacher say like, I have been telling you that forever, you know? And then all of a sudden like someone else says it and it's like, oh yeah, I totally get that now. And like the teacher's like, ugh, I've been telling you that exact same thing, you know? But like there's something about riding with somebody new and different that you hear something in a different way that really clicks. Although it can be a little frustrating for the teacher who's like, I've been telling you that this whole time. There's a benefit to have a little bit that higher level of like, ooh, I gotta make sure I really show up and listen. Gail just said, Gail's my first trainer. We're gonna get her on here for an interview soon. And she goes, Liz thinks you are repeating her lesson. Yeah, exactly. It's so important. I think it's also something great to know your teacher also. Like when Allie comes, you know, she wants to see the progress of what we've made. She wants to, you know, push the horses to the next level. She wants to kind of check on my work that I've been doing. And so we do try to push it to the next place. I also think sometimes in order to give the student a feeling of a certain thing, we accidentally kind of sacrifice other things. So as the rider, it's our responsibility to really know our horses and be honest with the feeling. A lot of times we're riding with this great rider, this great trainer, and it's like, you know, he really feels like strong in my hand. Like, like, should I say something? Yes. Always say something. Because at that moment, you know, the teacher might be really attempting to push you through to this next thing, but like what you're accepting at that exact moment is not the ideal, and you're going to have to go back in your own work and work on getting through that. So that's why I think it's important to sort of bullet point like what we went through. Like in Darby's lesson, I shared a couple videos of that. The zigzag at the Grand Prix at the canter is hard. The struggle is real. Darby loves flying changes more than life itself. So all he wants to do is the flying changes, you know, and then like going sideways in between is like kind of, he thinks is like kind of stupid. So we broke it down and we worked on, a little bit changing the way I was sitting and totally broke it down. And then it's my job when I'm by myself to work on putting that back together again, Or if you're working on an end product, like let's say you're working on a new half pack. Oh, well, I do have some videos I should probably share because, again, with Apollo, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's amazing, and it's a mess. And like that, we're pushing it up to the new level, but he also has to spend time at really gaining his confidence at it. Like, not every clinic ride is exactly how you should ride every single day. So it's also about like reading your horse. If he's starting to get really heavy or really strong in some of the movements, back up and re-explain it to him, break it down even farther, and I think you need to know your trainer and who you're riding with. So it's always good to go watch lessons before you sign up to ride with people. Gail and I have a funny story about that in my youth. But I mean, that's also an important piece, but then it's also like, know what that trainer is going to go for, and you need to know your horse, speak up for your horse, and fill in the gaps. Like, that was the big thing I was riding around this week thinking about, is like, yes, it was really exciting. We went to a new level. I got some really good insights, and now it's my job to do that homework and fill in the gaps, because there are always these like, wow, like you either understood something better or the horse got something, or like, wow, he really trotted, or like Darby really passaged. And then it's about, I did a little passage on Darby today and it was way better, but I hadn't done it since the clinic. We worked on canter, I worked on trot halts with a long neck. I worked a little on, he wants to get a little strong and like pushy into the neck. So I fixed that, so it's always about, if you just run over the top of the exercises at full tilt all the time, you need to concentrate on filling in the gaps. I always say, like, this is also for test riding, if you just ride tests and just ride tests, or you just ride like the same kind of pressure that you do in the clinic, you run over this gravel driveway, the same, and eventually you get these potholes. And so we always call them construction rides. Like, we have to be able to know our horses, know our riding, and understand our program to be able to go back in and fill in some of the potholes that were created by either getting a new level of something, teaching a new exercise, riding too many tests. We've got to always do construction, on the road to success. So that was a big thing I was thinking about riding around this week. And I thought, what am I going to talk about? And it was really fun to share some of the videos from the clinic, but like, now the real work starts. It's important to, with your trainer when you do clinics, to then also talk about like, okay, what's my goal for the next time? Like, when are you back in town? When am I going to see you again? Okay, I've got 6 weeks. What progress do I need to, what do I need to focus on? And it's also interesting too, like when you ride in a clinic, like let's say you're going to work on flying changes. Some horses get like super strong and like kind of running, and like, okay, I do want to teach him 2-time tempies. That's a goal. But I don't want to be pulling his face off because I just need to do the 2-time tempies. Like, go back to your regular single changes. Go back. I mean, I still spend a lot of time canter, walk, counter, canter, walk, canter, walk, counter, canter, even with my Grand Prix horses. Because you've always got to fill in the potholes, or the end result is going to be like a bumpy mess. So that's the best way for me to describe that. And, then that goes along with doing the homework. I think it's always really great when you're in a clinic, you've raised the ante, you've raised the standard, and now it's like, okay, now what does this look like in 2 months when I see this person again? So then you can really talk about like what it needs to look like, and then you build your own plan around that as well. And if you're not sure about your plan, then you ask that person, well, how do you think the best way to go about that is? And no one is a future teller. You know, we don't have the magic 8 ball that we can shake and say, it will be perfect in 3 weeks. Chances are what you thought was going to work, not working. So you need to adjust the plan. And so it's important to listen to your horse, listen to how he's understanding things, how strong he's getting, you know, and it always comes down to the basics. You know, so many times people are like, oh, you know, should I join the academy? Like I'm a beginner. And it's like, it is all the basics. Even better to join the academy as a beginner because you're just going to learn it right the first time. So yay, let's do that, you know? Just like a young horse, like it's better to always start in the beginning in the best way. So always go back to basics, always work on and pay attention to what the horse is telling you, fill in the gap, fill in the potholes, because I was thinking about this actually on Apollo, who is like the most exciting, like holy crap, that horse is like amazing. Very difficult, but amazing. And I was trotting around, practicing my trot, and I just was like, there is a lot of very boring work that happens between the exciting times. And it's great to be excited and it's great to be inspired. And then you got to put your head down and put your feet to the grindstone and get to work. So what is the work? It's all in the basics. It's all in the transitions. It's all in your position. You know, I think everybody should continue to chip away at it. Keep on keeping on. And always remember, when you are in the saddle, you are the trainer. So, you know, concentrating all the time on the basics, being able to figure out how to push your horse to the next level, what the goals are, write it down, and watch your videotapes. So, thank you so much for watching tonight. And if you guys want to hear me have a toast to anything special next week, write it in on Team Tate TV. We're always looking for really good topics to discuss. I thought it was perfect after Allie was here. It's like, okay, well, how do you make progress on these great, exciting lessons that happen? How do you build upon that and take it to the next level? So cheers to a good video camera and a good friend who will take those videos for you, who will talk to you about the rides. Write it down, journal away, and I hope to see you here soon. So make it a great night, you guys. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.